host of Course Record on CBS Sports Network, our very good friend Michael Breed. Michael, walk us through, I like to call it a Breed breakdown, some of these changes. Let's start with 15.
Well, 15 has been, as you said, absolutely one of the easiest holes on the property. In fact, routinely year in, year out, as a par 5, it is one of the 2 or 3 easiest holes. It's been moved back from 530 yards to 550 yards. The tee has been shifted a little bit. They've also made some slight alterations to the right side of the fairway where they've leveled that out a little bit more. And what this is going to do, particularly if we get the winds that they say we're supposed to get, it's going to make this golf hole play a whole lot longer. And not just because of the 20 yards that have been added, but also too, when you move that tee back and it's closer to 10 green right now, which sort of runs perpendicular to 15. What it does is it makes the landing area of the golf ball, when it hits into the fairway, it hits into a slight uphill. So by doing that, and with the fairway being cut from green to tee, that golf ball is not going to be able to carry the ridge and then go down. So the fairway kind of goes uphill and then downhill, not as uphill as it is downhill, but it does go slightly up the hill. And so what that does is that it makes the whole play a lot longer than the 550 yards. Some players will absolutely be able to reach. I think it will be a huge advantage, particularly from morning tee times to afternoon tee times. But what it does is it brings the layup into play, and specifically a very, very challenging 90 to 60 yard shot from side hill lies to a green that's going to be above them. It's a fascinating change, and I think one that through time, Augusta National has looked at this and said, as we do this, it will allow for birdies, but at the same time, it's going to make this whole play a lot more challenging.
Most of the golfers like Rory have already said, look, these are going to be tougher now. 11, already scary to begin with. It is longer. Some trees have been removed. Michael, walk us through 11.
So they've done a couple of things. They've added about 15 yards in length to the tee. The tee has been shifted back and to the left. They've opened up some trees, and the fairway has gotten a little bit wider on the right-hand side, but they have kept 3 very important trees down the right-hand side. So if you hit it in the fairway down the right-hand side, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have a clean look to this green. But one of the most interesting things that has taken place with the alteration to this hole is the right side of the property there on that green and then off the green to the right have been altered tremendously. The right side of the green has been lifted up a little bit. That's going to create a little bit more break from right to left and a faster shot down towards that pond on the left-hand side if you miss this shot to the right and you're pin high. To that end, they've also, in that lifting up, they've lowered that area on the collection area on the right-hand side. And now that green used to be about, say, 1.5 feet or so above the area where you're going to be chipping or pitching from. Now it's going to be something like 4 or 5 feet, depending upon where the hole location is and where the golf ball is. This shot will be much more challenging, and it's going to add an additional shot that players are going to have around this property to be successful. Ben Hogan, when he won in 1953, he talked about the keys to playing the 11th hole. And what he said was, if you find me on the green at hole number 11, I've pulled the shot. You want to play that shot to the front right portion of that area, that collection area. That's a very benign little chip or pitch that you'll have to that hole location. If you get hole high there, you have your hands full. This hole, which is traditionally one of the hardest holes on the golf course, became what I think will be the hardest hole on the golf course at Augusta National and the Masters this week.
Okay, Michael, it's Thursday. You're walking up to 11. How do you approach it then? Give us a demo.
Well, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to have a little religious experience and you're going to try to appeal to God's promises. That's what you're going to do. But then what you're going to do is you're going to realize that, you know what, you're probably going to have this shot because you don't want to hit your ball into the pond that's on the left-hand side. You're probably and likely going to have a little pitch shot because hitting this green is not an easy thing to do. And so what we have to be able to do is we have to be able to hit a shot that has a little trajectory to it, but it has a little bit of spin. And if I go into this shot with a square club face, and I've got a shot which about 25 yards here, square club face, and I hit that shot to that hole location, watch how this ball rolls out. Now, that looks like a very good shot. This is a level lie that I've got right there. But when you come over here and you examine the nuances to what I just did, what you're going to realize is my launch angle of that ball was under 30 degrees and the spin rate was at about 4,200. I've got to hit it higher and I have to put more spin on it. So how am I going to do that? A couple of things that we're going to do. Take this club face and we're going to open it up tremendously. When you open up a sand wedge, and I've got my lob wedge here, when you open up this club, it doesn't necessarily mean the ball's going to go to the right. It means that it's got a chance to go up in the air. But what it really has is a chance to spin the ball a little bit more. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. Open up that club face. Then I want to be able to make a little body motion with the club coming into the ball, sort of along the ground instead of stabbing it into the ground. I want it to come into the ground that way. So we open this up. I'm going to loft that up into the air. Spin rate's going to go up. That ball doesn't roll out as much. That one that landed about 21 yards into that green. It only rolled out about 9 feet. So we increased some spin, increased the trajectory by using a little bit of loft in that, by shallowing that out. And then the final thing is we want to make sure that the body is rotating through that shot. And when you do that, you're going to know that you have that success to be able to take on maybe a little bit more of an aggressive line. And if you miss the green at hole number 11, things are going to be just fine.
We know somebody who approves of these changes is Tiger Woods. He actually was asked about this. He said if they didn't tell you that they changed anything and you go there, you'd think it looks the same as it did every year. It's absolutely amazing. The 11th hole, I think it's a good change. Michael Breed saying that. He went on to say about 15 there. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe that's changed now, but we're almost going to be on the back of 10 green. I didn't know there was land back there. They find land, they can make land. Michael, I want to ask you about Tiger Woods, though. I was listening to you this morning on CBS Sports Network, and you said he looked so good that if he'd been playing this past year, he'd probably be everyone's pick to win. And just kind of tell me what you're seeing from Tiger today and maybe what his next 12 hours look like. How does he get his body ready?
That's exactly right. This is all about recovery for him. They will close the big course down this afternoon as the par 3 is played. This is terrific for Tiger Woods, who got up early this morning, had a little bit of practice, went out and played 9 holes, and now it's just going to be recovery mode for Tiger. And Tiger, by the way, tees off at 10:34. That is exactly what he needed. He needed a morning tee time so that he could have an afternoon tee time on Friday. That will also allow him some recovery time. Look, the situation with Tiger is as follows. I love the way he's swinging the club. He's got total control over the distance with his wedges. His short game effort was fantastic. We were on Masters on the Range on Tuesday, and we were treated to 2 hours of Tiger Woods practicing, and it was beautiful to watch. His golf swing is fantastic. The body looks like it's moving nicely. He's making a little bit of a move that was similar to how he swung the club back in 2000 by shifting into that lead side. He's got plenty of clubhead speed. The ball speed at times was up as high as 176. He was carrying the ball right around 300. When you look at all these numbers that are important to be successful at Augusta National, he's got them all. The only question that you have is physically, is he going to be able to walk the golf course? What's fascinating is this. This is a 46-year-old body. This is a body that has gone through so many surgeries, it's hard to even keep track of. But his mind is probably stronger now than it's ever been in his life. And he knows he doesn't have a lot of these left. And what a fabulous story it would be if he picks up the victory at Augusta National and the Masters and eclipses all kinds of records and ties Jack Nicklaus for the most numbers of wins at Augusta National and the Masters with number 6 on the 25th anniversary of his very first win back in 1997.
You can't see it. You just gave me chills. I think I would melt or spontaneously combust if that were to happen. I think we all would, Michael. And we're so lucky to be able to witness the next couple of days and the return of Tiger Woods. Michael Breed, thank you so much. You can check him out on his show, Course Record, there on CBS Sports Network with Michael Breed. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.